Week 15 started way back Thursday night. Rams 12, 49ers 6. Didn't know this at the time, but the Rams now in first place at 8-6 with the Seahawks loss. So Rams get the win here, and the Niners with the loss almost out of the playoff picture at this point. The Rams, the 1-4 Rams at one point in the season, now commanding first place. Now they're tied with the Seahawks at 8-6 with the tiebreaker.
Critically with that the 1-4 Rams with the win over San Francisco, which kind of paved the way for San Francisco to drop all of their games against that division.
Which, and again, we used to be the Shanahan over McVay every time. They now got swept by the Rams.
And it was a weird, ugly game where it started insanely slow, like 6 straight punts or something in the first quarter, 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. Rain game, ugly, not much happening. And then the 49ers kept dropping or screwing up chances to get back or potentially win the game. Deebo drops a huge run after the catch type of play, and coming off the week that he'd had in terms of, complaining about not getting the opportunities, got given the opportunity, didn't have a good game, dropped that pass in the rain, but bad game for him.
He, you could tell he was trying. So kickoff returns and everything. He was doing everything he could to make up for it. But yeah, he was vocal about not getting the ball. He finishes with 2 carries for 3 yards, 3 receptions for 16 yards, including that key drop. The other thing, in a season of the 49ers maybe lamenting missed opportunities, 2 pretty bad dropped interceptions early on, probably 3 total for the Niners, because Stafford was just chucking it to them defensively. Niners could not take advantage of any of the mistakes.
Yeah, Stafford was saying that on the interview broadcast afterwards, hit a couple of 49ers in the chest. Once I stopped doing that, things picked up a bit. Very true. He did give them opportunities earlier, and they didn't take them. And then the other thing coming out of this game was the dynamic at linebacker for the 49ers. We got the return of Dre Greenlaw, who, remember, his Achilles popped as he went to jog on to the field for the Super Bowl. Back on the field for the first time. He, at one point, was statistically credited for 10 tackles in the first half before they took 2 of them off him by the mid-third quarter. They adjusted his stats already. Yeah. And we're like, nah, we got to be carried away there. But he still ended the game with a ridiculous number of tackles and performance. And then that corresponded with, they sort of played him for the entirety, I think, of the first half. And then they were, I don't know whether he felt something or they simply had him on a pitch count and were like, that's enough for you. But they tried to sit him down and send out Dre Campbell, who just went, nah, sorry, you bench me. I'm not going back out now.
No,
refused to go back on the field. And so that didn't come out until after the game, but he just bounced to the locker room. Was like, nope, not going on.
Head coach Kyle Shanahan basically said, Devondre just didn't go in the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Niners were like, man, he's going to get cut. He's going to get cut. This isn't good.
Only it's turned out, it emerged yesterday, they don't want to cut him because they don't want to, he could potentially sign for a contender team, whatever. They're basically going to suspend him for as long as they can humanly suspend him and then cut him. But that's one of the sacred no-nos in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
You don't just refuse to go out there for your team.
Anthony Richardson missed 1 snap. We talked about that for weeks. Dre Greenlaw was just like, nah, good, second half.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, is he retiring? Vontae Davis style? What's going on here? That ended up becoming a pretty big story coming out of that game. You're right. Dre Greenlaw was outstanding, flying around. Hopefully he's okay going forward. It was good to see him back out there. But one last thing I just wanted to mention. A lot of people are like, well, this is the Rams team that just scored 44 points 4 days ago, or whatever it was. It's like, can we, for the 1,000th time, let me repeat, can we please use a little common sense and factor in the differences in playing games in a dome versus playing in a rain game? Sometimes it affects the game. It just doesn't register in our brain enough sometimes. And I know it's wrapped into betting lines, and I know that in one game settings, people look at that type of stuff, but use a little logic here. It's easier to chuck it around in a dome. The Bills have back-to-back dome games the last 2 weeks where they have over 40 points. That matters versus playing in the snow in Buffalo. It matters. Yeah. So just, use that.
This is the game where, I think snow games are awesome. Rain games, not so much. I could live without rain games.
It's interesting how different rain games can be, because sometimes you don't feel it that much. Other times it's just the field is slippery.
And this was one where
this affected things quite a bit, as far as every catch was like a miracle, it felt like.
The magnitude of the rain makes a big difference.
In the first half, at least. The second half, it's settled
sometimes
out.
It's a rain game, and it's just, mild rain for the entire game, and it's not really a big deal. Like, everything's wet, but it's fine. This one, it was lashing rain in the first half, and that made everything a challenge. And once it's rained that much, everything is soaked. So even if it eases up in the second half, which it did, it's still difficult. Like, even at that point, everything is so wet that it's still more challenging than if it was simply light rain for the entire game. So, yeah, this level of rain, you're like, I'm generally a fan of conditions, but I could do without that.
No, I hear you. I get it. Rams defense played really well. Just wanted to give them a shout out. I mean, if you go to PFF and check out a lot of their grades, a lot of grades in the green, top to bottom. Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, a couple of the guys we've highlighted quite a bit, but you also have Akilla Witherspoon, Cameron Curl, Quentin Lake, Darius Williams. Solid performance across the board. Coincides with the rain and the poor performance by the Niners offense, but good job by the Rams, and they're in first, controlling their future here in the NFC West at 8-6. Nice bounce back by the entire team.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.